Check. Check, check. Sweet. What's up, guys? So, as promised, I wanted to make a little video about my Downieville experience. Overall, like, awesome experience. I just wanted to go over a few things of what I did and what I would do different to make the experience even better. And since I'm kind of one of those people that obviously, like, I like to do research about a race or whatever I'm going to do before, but there's not a lot of experience talk. There's always like in race recaps or, you know, things like that that people talk about, but there's not a lot out there that really suggest like all the details in between, and I kind of wanted to be able to do that. And so what I mean by that is I wrote down a bunch of stuff, because if I don't, I'm gonna not stay on topic, because I usually go on rants for a long time. So overall, awesome experience, guys. Everything you do out there, it's a beautiful town. It's a small town. There's only one way in, one way out, literally. So keep that in mind. But overall, if you're ever thinking about doing a race like that, Downieville, look it up. It is 26 miles long. It is like 8,000 feet of climbing, and I don't know, like 11,000 feet or something like that of descending. I'm not going to talk too much about like the nitty gritty in between, but from the start to the finish. So basically, I want to talk about the price. The price was like, I think it was like $150, $180, which is pretty typical for a big mountain bike race. The one thing you do get is you do get a meal with that. So when you go early and the day before and get your packet pickup, you're going to get a meal ticket for after the race, and also a beer garden ticket as well, as long as you're of age. They'll include that in the packet. So keep those, break those off, because they're actually on your number plate. So rip those off the bottom. Make sure and keep those somewhere for the next day that you have on your person. And I'll tell you why in a second. So pricing, $150, $180, somewhere around there, including meal, lodging. If you sign up for the race, sign up for early and sign up for lodging as soon as possible. Reason being is because there is hardly anywhere to stay in the town itself. It is a small town. I actually stayed like an hour and like 20 minutes away in Nevada City. It's down, so it's like Tahoe, like Lake Tahoe down here, Downieville up here, and Nevada City down here. So it's like a big like triangle, and there's really only like two ways to get. One way to Tahoe to Nevada City, and then there's only one way to get up to Downieville from either one of them. So just keep that in mind. It is a 2-lane road almost the whole way there. So if you've never been in those small towns, keep that in mind. It's a lot of twisting and turning, stuff like that. So lodging, get signed up for that as soon as possible, as early as possible, to make it just like less hectic for you. And like I said, there's not going to be hardly anywhere to stay in the actual town itself. So be prepared to drive or spend a lot for an Airbnb if you can find one in that time. So like I said, I stayed in Nevada City. Awesome place down there. I stayed in like a little bitty like motel, hotel kind of thing. It really wasn't expensive, and I actually stayed there for like well over a week as well. So if you do need somewhere to stay, look at Nevada City. Tons of places to stay there. Really cool experience. The only thing I didn't like about the town is I'm a sushi fanatic. I don't know if anybody else is, but I wanted sushi, and I tried to get sushi there like 3 days in a freaking row, and I couldn't do it because all the sushi restaurants were booked. And I'm like, there's this, like, can I sit at the bar? Can I, like, come on, seriously, can I order to go? They wouldn't take to go orders. They wouldn't let you sit at the bar. Like, they're booked. And So I had to settle for like this other place, and I got pizza, which is not my go-to before a race, but the pizza was really good, and the experience overall was really cool because you get to see a ton of different people in the town, which are pretty much all there to race as well. So overall, awesome experience. I want to talk about parking. So I went there the day before, got my packet pickup. I parked in this back little like neighborhood area. So during race day, you won't be able to park down in the city really where you're actually going unless you get there like super early, and I'm talking like hours and hours and hours. Few things there. If you park in the actual city that you're finishing in Downieville, you'll have to get a ride to the actual starting line, which is not in Downieville. It's like 10 or 11 miles away. So could you ride your bike there? Probably. It's a 2-lane road. Probably wouldn't recommend it. I didn't really see anybody doing that. So either like ride with someone down there and get dropped off, and then leave your car in Downieville if you can. Helicopter flying over here. And two, just remember that because there is no parking in Downieville, you're probably going to drive up to park where the actual starting line is, which is, like I said, like 9, 10, 11 miles away. So your car is going to be there, and when you get done racing, you're going to be in Downieville. So get to the starting line early because there's very limited parking down there as well too. So there's like 700-800 people in this race. So that'll tell you right there like how many vehicles are going to be in these little small towns. So keep that in mind. What I did personally is I got there early, drove through the town, got to where the race starts, and then I parked there, did the race. So I got there like an hour early, warmed up, did the race, stopped and ended in Downieville. And when you get there in Downieville, there's a few things that I did that I would personally recommend that I didn't do that I would personally recommend to some people. So since you're parked by the starting line, you don't have a vehicle, you don't have dry clothes or anything like that, when you're going through the race, you are going to get wet. There is some water crossings. My feet were soaked. So the one thing that I will do next year that I should have done this year is I'm going to leave like a drop bag at the finish line down in Downieville. There's a bike shop there that you can literally just pop in there, leave a backpack there, and just put some like shoes in there, put some socks in there, just some dry clothes that you can change like out of your kit. You can change out of your wet shoes, because that was one of my issues, is that my shoes were soaked, my socks were soaked. They're not going to dry out in that time because it wasn't really hot up there. I was eating my food, I had my shoes off and my feet just hanging out, and yeah, it was overall like that was probably one of the biggest like things that I was mad about. Not mad in the sense that like, I'm never gonna do this again. Just mad that I didn't think about it, or I didn't know about it, and there wasn't a video like this to tell me like, hey, like you're not going to be able to do anything there because your feet are going to be soaked. You're not going to want to put your wet shoes and socks back on. They do have a bike check where you can check your bike, so you don't have to worry about that, but you have to walk around in like your kit and like all that stuff, and you're just soaked and muddy and all that stuff. So I'll put some pictures at the end of me like just covered in dirt and dust and mud and what I looked like. So just think of that for next year. If you're gonna go, take a drop bag, take it into the bike shop in there, and just say, hey, like I'm gonna pick this up when I get back. I 100% guarantee that they're just gonna be like, cool, fine, whatever. Like that's cool. We get it. So along with that, I did try to watch some videos to try to see about like bike setups, tire setups, all that sort of stuff. There was some good and some bad information, but my first-hand experience, I did do it on my Super Caliber, which was not a great idea. This is a very, very limited travel, very short travel for that type of race. What it was great for was the climb, the 5,600 feet of climbing at the very beginning. Ripped it. I was up there exactly actually with the pros as far as like the times on the climb. The descending, not so much. Like just rocked me, like just destroyed me, along with cramps as well from being up in that elevation. So bike setup, definitely need a bike with like a 120 front and a 115 rear. Like that's going to be where you want to be. One, I would definitely run lockouts or like a pedal mode. That way that when you're ascending in the climb, you're able to put down all that power. I will tell you, start in a class that is as far forward as possible, because inevitably all the classes, there's going to be people that shouldn't have been in that class that are going to be in the back, and then you're going to be trying to pass them on the climb, and it never fails. All the people that are going slow are going to take the easy line, which is going to be the right side usually, so you have to pass on the left side, which is fine as long as you can pass. But then there's a lot of people that stay in both lanes that just block you, and you're like, dude, like this is timed. Like I want to get by, like, you know, let the people by that are actually racing. You guys can do whatever you want to, you know, whatever. So start in a class that's very far forward as possible. Like even if it's out of your comfort zone, like start at the very front. So do that. Like I said, bike experience, something you're going to want is 120 front, at least a 100 or 115 rear. Tire choice, I ran these tires that are just the stock tires that come on the Super Caliber. They're just an XC type tire. The tread was more than enough. I didn't need any more tread. So if you're running an XC type tire, like a Race Recon, you know, any of those type of tires, perfectly fine. You don't need anything more than that. The only thing you need to think about is puncture resistance and sidewall resistance. So it is a fast race going downhill, but it's a very rough race going downhill. There are a lot of debris on there, a lot of rocks, a lot of sharp rocks, water crossings, things like that. Like I said, I ran these and I was perfectly fine, which these have like hardly any, like they're hardly any tread. So tread, you don't really need. You're not going to have an issue with a XC type tread, but you want a strong tire to withstand punctures. I did get a puncture. I got it on a single track about 4 miles from the finish. They put mulch down in one of the areas in the single track. One of the pieces of mulch went literally right through my tire, flattened it instantly. So I had to pull over in a single track area where there was nowhere to go. People were flying past me and I felt bad. I had to plug it with the thickest plug that I had. And then I got it aired back up and got to the finish like that. But that was the only issue that I had as far like with these tires. But I can tell you right now, I was not the only one. I mean, I saw literally probably hundreds of people with flats. So keep that in mind when you're picking tires. So that would be the bike setup. I would not run something this short. I didn't even have a dropper post at the time. I do now. But I also saw people with droppers that weren't even using them. So, you know, whatever. Dropper, 120, 115, you know, do that. Overall, that's my experience. It was a great time. I will post some pictures like at the end, just kind of like a slideshow of me like going to the finish. I got 15th in class. I got like 300th overall. There was like 700-800 people in the whole race. The ascending or going up was awesome. Of course, it's not easy by any means, but I was up there in the pro time, and I'm by no means a pro mountain biker at this moment. You know, that's what I'm striving to be as far as like category wise this year. So I definitely wanted to see where I stacked up, and it wasn't because of me as far as like lack of skill or lack of ability or lack of endurance. It was literally just like the bike couldn't handle it. Like I don't know if anybody finished in front of me with a super caliber, because there was two of us. I think there was two of us on super calibers, and there was one guy on a hardtail. And the hardest part was just the descent, because it was so rough, and with no dropper to go over some of the drops. Just keep that in mind. Also, nutrition, I want to talk about that real quick, is leading up to it, definitely drink as much as possible. Keep as hydrated as possible. It is pretty high up there. I don't remember the elevation off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure it's probably around 10,000 feet. It's up there, and 8,000 feet of it is in the beginning of it in the climb. So it's a climb the entire way, or 5,000 feet, 5,000, 8,000, something like that. But it's 8+ miles long is the climb. So just keep that in mind. And like I said, get a drop bag, show up early, get your stuff. When you do get in Downieville, you're gonna want to hang out for a while, because it is a cool town. It is a small town, but obviously there's a lot to do. There's like bike vendors. They wait for everybody to show up for the last contestant to roll through. I think like 2 hours after that is like the award ceremony. So you're gonna be in that town for a while, and that's why I'm saying, like, bring a drop bag for there, to have some clothes to change out of your wet shoes, socks, all that stuff. Get a beer. You get a ticket, a voucher for a free beer. Go over and get that. Chug that down. The meal, they give you a free, or not a free meal ticket, but they give you a ticket when you enter. And that's like this year that I did it, it was like a big plate of spaghetti, breadsticks, salad, watermelon, and a drink, and like all kinds of stuff that you get to eat. So definitely go over and experience that. Everybody was super cool. There is one bike shop in town. The bike shop is connected to like a cafe. So if you go in there, you can eat. They have Wi-Fi, everything like that. So if you have to work and get any work done, you can show up early or stay late, or do it the day before, do it the day after. They do have Wi-Fi in that cafeteria that you can go in and use. The bike shop is very, very mountain biker friendly, obviously. So you're there to work on a mountain bike. They can get you set up. They did have like tires, they had sealant, they had pretty much anything you needed if you needed to get something set up. My derailleur was kind of acting up, so I took it in there, kind of had them spin through it real quick. They took it literally completely off, made some adjustments, put it back on, and it's been that way since I've had it till now, which it's still fine, and that was like months ago. So pretty cool, like awesome guys. If you do want to visit a big bike shop, you're going to need to go to a different town. There is a bike shop, it's kind of over by the Lake Tahoe area. So from Downieville, you have to go basically around and then down to the Lake Tahoe area. There's a really big bike shop down there. They are a Specialized dealer, and a few other brands in there. I actually got a USWE hydration pack there. I got some nutrition there because I forgot all of my nutrition, like all my powders at home. Go figure. And I actually got some shoes because I forgot my mountain bike off-road shoes. So I had my pedals that were from my road bike on there, and my road bike shoes, luckily. So I at least had those. But I went down there and got some shoes. They had my size, which was 42s. So luckily a size that they had, and some Specialized. But anyways, yeah, just keep those things in mind, guys, for next year if you want to do it. Also, the Tahoe Trail is a qualifier for the Leadville 100, which is the weekend after. Keegan Swanson did do both of those. He actually won the Downieville, and then like a week later he went and did the Tahoe Trail. So definitely keep that in mind. That's why I stayed up there a week later in the Nevada City. But the problem was I stayed there, but I had crashed like 3 times. I didn't get seriously injured or anything like that. I just like 2 of them were like step offs and kind of just like rocked over. One of them was like a full-fledged like flip over the bars, hurt my hand. Didn't break it or anything like that. It just was really sore. So I didn't think that I was going to be able to compete in the Tahoe Trail. So I ended up going home early, which was a stupid idea on my part because I watched the people that finished and did the Tahoe Trail, and I 100% should have done it, because my goal for next year is to get qualified for Leadville and do Leadville obviously in the highest class that I can. Next couple weeks I will be going to Arkansas to do Little Sugar, so I will be doing the Little Sugar race, BT Epic, like the weekend after that, I believe, and then the mountain bike race here in Tulsa, which is called Cold Turkey. So all in all, if you guys have any more like questions, comments, or want to know anything more about the race specifically, or what you should do for like setups or anything like that, definitely just drop a comment below. I'd love to help you guys out. Stay just right next. I'm going to put some pictures up next on a little slideshow. Yeah, guys, I hope this helps people learn, or have a better experience from my experience, because I know a lot of people go to races for the very first time and they never know like what they're supposed to do or where they're going to be. Just keep in mind, you're not going to park in the town. You need to take dry clothes to drop off if you're going to be there by yourself. Go as early as possible, get warmed up, get your packet picked up the day before, and just have a good time. There's a water crossing, or there's a creek in the town in Downieville when you finish, that like literally everybody like goes down there and just like takes off their kit and puts on board shorts and just hops in there. I was in there in my kit, like just scrubbing down. There's a bike wash station there, get your bike washed, get everything set up. So all in all, super cool. Do I recommend it? Absolutely. If you're into mountain biking, do it, because I mean there's very few places or races that you're going to go to where you get to be around 700-800 plus people that are all there for the exact same reason, and they all have to finish it. You know what I mean? Like everybody there is going to finish it. They're going to go through the same pain, the same suffering, the same course, the same drop-offs, the same rocks, everything the same as you are. So just keep that in mind. There's not a lot of sports out there that happens. So do it, have fun. Drop a comment below. Let me know if you guys need to know anything else, and we'll see you guys later.
Oh man, that was an experience. I'm fucking wrecked. Flipped over bars once. That sucked real bad. My hand, and got a hole in the tire. Had to stop, patch it, plug it, and then keep going. Whew. We'll see what we got. I don't know, but that was fucking rough. I missed my enduro bike for that shit.